Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the City Lifestyle meeting. I would like to begin today's meeting by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the land on which we are gathered and pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging. I'd also like to acknowledge any sorry business that may be felt in our community at this point in time. Welcome to the City Lifestyle Committee meeting of the 22nd of January. I declare this meeting open at 12:24. I would like to advise attendees in the room that this meeting is being webcast and audio recorded. Item 3, attendances and leaves of absences. I note that Councillor St Ledger is not in the room. Can I have a leave of absence from any? Is an apology? Okay. No vote? Okay. All right. We'll move on. And we also have Councillor Jeremiah on Teams as well. Okay, confirmation of the previous minutes, committee meeting in minutes. Oh, sorry, I forgot to actually acknowledge Emily Shafto, who's standing in. Yep, okay. Confirmation of previous committee meeting minutes. There is a motion displayed on the screen to confirm the previous minutes. And I'd like to confirm that the minutes of the City Lifestyle Committee meeting held on the 27th of November be confirmed. Do I have a mover for the motion as displayed on the screen? Councillor Lanes, seconded by Mayor Raven. Can I have a show of hands in support? That's been, how do you vote, Councillor Jeremiah?
I vote yes.
That has been carried by everyone in the room and online. Okay, declarations of conflicts of interest. I now refer to the declaration of conflicts of interest. Do any councillors wish to declare a conflict of interest today on our very small agenda? No? Okay, we're moving right along. I will now refer to the reports on today's agenda. I note that we have no items on today's agenda. So I believe we have no, we don't really have much of a meeting, do we? I'm trying to stretch it out. Oh, okay. Oh, general business, yes. General business. Do any of the councillors have any general business? Mayor Raven, you have some general business?
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and just want to give a big shout out to your moustache. It's very respectable.
Hang on, wait a second. Councillor Jackson grows a full beard. No one bats an eye. Councillor Hall grows a moustache and everyone just loses their mind.
It's because it's so good, Councillor Hall. It's so very, very good. And I'm sure if Councillor Jackson was chairing, we would also give him a bit of a hard time about his beard as well. Emily, serious question. So earlier we had the monthly finance report from the finance manager. There was discussions around sundry debtors, and I was just asking about people who don't pay their animal registrations, and she said that doesn't feed into the sundry debtors, and that and so my questions to her, which she couldn't answer, so your turn, are around the process that we go through when people haven't paid their animal registration on time. So my understanding is your team, your substantive team, goes through and follows up with people who've missed it, and then eventually it gets sent to Spur. Is that the case?
Through the Chair, thank you for that question, Mr Mayor. Yes, that is the case. Our team have a role to play in the regulatory space once the animal registration period has come to an end. So for individuals who fail to pay their animal registration fees in accordance with their obligations under the relevant legislation, we typically issue those persons a fine. We particularly prioritise people who have repeatedly failed to pay registration fees over a long period of time, or for whom there are other animal-related offences coming into the mix. So, but that is correct. Our team have a role to play in following up those.
Is that contained entirely within your team, or do other parts of the organisation support you in that, or it's all you all day?
At this point in time, it is resourced within the City Safety and Livability branch.
Great. Thank you very much.
Okay, and I believe we had Councillor Lane.
Thanks very much, Mr. Chair. Emily, over the Christmas period, it seems it's a time when people look around and go, oh, there's this and this and this and this that I want to talk about in the community. And there are a number of things raised relating to amenity. And I want to thank your team because I've lodged a fair number of jobs over the Christmas, New Year and leading back into work time period. And their response has been really fantastic. But most importantly, there was a dog attack that occurred in my division, and the animal management team, I don't envy them their job. They're absolutely amazing, but they're out there, and despite the owners trying to hide the animal, they secured the animal, and they are looking at what legal options there are going forward. So I'd just like to do a big shout out to the team for their hard work over that period, and in particular responding to illegal dumping and a number of other issues in the community. I note that you are reviewing Local Laws number 10, which I'm very excited about. I think that for rate-paying residents in the city, they have an expectation that their council is going to keep their city as tidy as possible, and strengthening those laws plays an important part of it. But one thing that I did notice is that over the Christmas New Year period, there was an influx of illegal signs. Most importantly, if someone's promoting something in our city that's a community sort of thing, we kind of go a bit lighter on it. But when Brisbane decide, or a company decide they're going to have a rodeo in Brisbane and plaster our community with their signs, I take great exception to that. So I'd love to see if our sign task force can actually take greater moves stepping forward to actually removing signs as they see them rather than waiting for reports to happen. That's my only feedback, but thank you so much to your team. They've done a wonderful job throughout the Christmas and New Year holiday.
Thank you, Councillor Laney. Thank you very much for that feedback. The work of all of our regulatory officers never ceases throughout the Christmas period, and they've certainly been hard at work keeping the city safe and clean. To your question about illegal signs, the Rapid Response Task Force last calendar year seized and impounded 1,500 illegally placed signs across the city. That work continues this year, and as part of the regulatory reform that we are posing in relation to Local Law 10, we will be considering avenues for tougher measures on those who display illegal signage in the city.
Councillor Bradley, did your question relate to this? Okay, I'll let you ask your question just before Councillor Bennett.
Yeah, thank you. I wasn't going to ask any questions in general business, but when you said about the illegal signs, how does that compare to other years, the 1,500?
Through the chair, thank you for that question. It's a dramatic escalation in the seizure of illegally placed signage, and that's the reason for that is that council resourced a 3-year rapid response task force. I think it was in about 2023 to specifically tackle illegally placed signage, illegally dumped and abandoned vehicles, and dumped shopping trolleys as well. So that I'd be happy to take this offline, follow it up with the data. But there's been a dramatic increase in the seizure of signage over the past 2 to 3 calendar years.
Yeah, I would appreciate that information, and also a breakdown of how much in the division, if possible.
Certainly, we'd be happy to provide that to you, Councillor.
Okay, Councillor Ben, you no longer have any questions? No. Do we have any other questions? Okay, so no further questions for the Acting Director of Community and Lifestyle, Emily Shafto. Okay, that being the case, we're going to that concludes the agenda for today and our general business. I declare the City Lifestyle Committee meeting on the 22nd of January concluded at 12:33. Thank you.